Hey guys, welcome back to Wonder Dads Gaming. Another night here in the iRacing Fun League. It's going to be an exciting race. We're at Daytona International Speedway. I know a lot of people are prepared for this one and excited to watch this race. And also these racers on track. I got to talk with them a little bit before this race got started. Practice is underway right now. A lot of these guys I was talking with said that tonight they're anticipated for a good race. Anybody can win this one here tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun and really exciting to see who's going to walk away the winner and make the playoffs. Maybe we'll have a new winner tonight, maybe not, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless to see who can come away with the win here tonight at Daytona. Cars are on track for practice and qualifying will begin here shortly. We'll go ahead and walk through our previous week's race announcements and previous winners and show that off for you right now. So this is going to be race 7 tonight in the Cup Series, and it is week 25 of the year. Real quick, there is your playoff standings. John Ledger took over the top spot from Corey Goodall. So he moves up one spot after Michigan last week, moved up some points. They both have one win each, 16 playoff points for finishing the results in the truck and Xfinity seasons. Brandon Fiedler has the third spot overall. Matthew Karakoff still in the top 5. Joe Tardif rounds out your top 5 for the overall standings. And John Scheidrich is 6 with 2 playoff points. Those are your drivers locked into the playoffs. Everybody in yellow has yet to win a race, so we'll see if they're going to have a first-time winner here tonight. And there is your playoff points. We'll bring that up later on in the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll go ahead and pull up last week's winner, which was Luke Mahone. Congratulations, Luke, for winning at Michigan. It was a heck of a race. We had a lot of battles for the lead. There was Luke and Brandon up there, Brandon Fiedler for the win. Those two guys on the last couple laps, they were going back and forth for the lead, really battling each other hard. It was a good race overall. Everybody did a heck of a job all race long. But congratulations to Luke with the win. He is your race winner at Michigan International Speedway. Coming home P2. Like I said, Brandon Fiedler, he was battling up there with the lead with Luke all race long. Those two guys had some of the fastest cars on track, but they put on a heck of a race. So congrats to Brandon for coming home P2 at Michigan Speedway. And then coming home P3, much like last week, we had Zachary Ward once again made the podium finish. He gets 2 back-to-back P3 finishes in a row. So he comes P3 at Michigan. Looks like he kind of changed his number there in the photo. But yeah, Zachary Ward, P3, Michigan National Speedway, he had a lot of speed. He kind of had a little bit of a mishap early on in that race, and it kind of put him towards the rear. I believe there was a wreck, and he rebounded nicely up to P3. So had a lot of speed in that car, but definitely had the fastest Chevy on track. So congrats to Zach on P3's finish. We'll go ahead and show you guys the point standings real quick. This is for the Cup Series after 6 races, and Brandon Fiedler has the top spot overall. Corey Goodall is P2. John Ledger is actually tied P2 with Corey Goodall for the Cup Series standings. Luke Mahone is in P4. Steve Mormon has the 5th spot, tied with Joe Tardif. These guys actually are tied in points, and I'll see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see. So right now they have the exact same points. Joe and Steve Mormon, 184. How many points they got. Along with Corey Goodall and John Ledger, they both have 283. So pretty cool to see these guys tied in points. But there's your total points. There's the bonus points on the far right side of the screen. But moving on forward, you have Joe Tardif and David Galloway Jr. David Galloway is in 7th. John Scheidrich is 8th. Jeff Laraway is 9th. And Zachary Ward rounds out your top 10. Now, those top 10 finishing positions, after we get done with this season, those top 10 positions will get bonus points, and those are your playoff points. Or maybe not bonus points, but those are your playoff points that are awarded to the top 10 finishing positions. So that's how you saw on this screen here. You saw how they had those playoff points there in the green section there, 16, 10, 15, and 2. Those will get awarded at the end of this season, and we'll announce that later on. But there's your current point standings, and then here is your schedule. We'll go ahead and pull this up later on in the video, but just want to show that to you guys before we go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and get on track. We got one more race left in the Cup season before we knock these playouts out at the door and get started here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are at Daytona for the second to last race of the regular season. Let's go ahead and get on track and show this off. So right now we're under qualifying, and we'll see if we can show you what the leaderboard is right now. It looks like Wes Gallo is out there on track. And there he is. Right now he's putting down his qualifying run, and we'll see if we can pull up that live leaderboard real quick. I have yet to update these graphics here, guys. I was getting with Doug Burns on How to Suck at iRacing, and he's going to help me out update these graphics here so we can get the Fun League logo on there, get the transitions and animations all figured out, but we'll get that for you guys here shortly. Maybe next week I'll see if I can get with him, and I appreciate everything that Doug does to try and help me out as much as possible. I'm still trying to learn how to do this broadcasting thing, but we'll get the graphics and everything figured out. Right now, Elliott Swope has the fastest time on track, and it looks like that's a 50-12. There he is on track in the number 33 Chevy Camaro, putting down his qualifying run. He's on his second lap this time by. Right now, Bryn George in the number 54, he has the second fastest time on track, followed by John Scheidrich in the third position. There is John in the 95. And then we'll also pull up John Ledger in the 25 car. Right now he has fifth fastest on track in qualifying. Looks like he made his qualifying run already. There he is in the Monster Energy Chevy Camaro. Zachary Ward out there as well. He puts down the sixth fastest time in qualifying. But look at that, John Scheidrich to the top of the leaderboard. He puts down the fastest time of a 50.12. in qualifying. Alrighty, Luke Mahone out there putting down his qualifying lap. Looks like his lap was third fastest of the night. Alrighty, Jeffrey Belk in the number 55 Toyota Camry. He's out there putting his time down. He is right now 12th on the leaderboard in qualifying. Jeff Laraway out there as well, the number 71. Laraway is 13th fastest in qualifying. Craig Bridge Jr. in the 94. He's at 15th right now. Jake Mockey out there as well. Jake is right now 16th on the qualifying leaderboard. Alrighty, Joe Tardif out there as well. He's putting down his qualifying lap. Joe's running a really special paint scheme out there tonight. If you guys haven't noticed it yet, it is Dale Jr.'s 2001 Daytona Coke Zero 400 win. And right now, see where his qualifying lap's going to be. I believe he has just another couple seconds here to get his qualifying run in. Looks like Maki moves up to 12th fastest on the board. Joe Tardif right now 18th. Alrighty, guys, come out, leave a comment, say a hello, let us know who you're rooting for out there tonight, and we will show off everybody's paint scheme as much as possible. We also have Mark Ward out there in the number 10. And he's putting down his qualifying run. Looks like Mark Ward is 16th on the leaderboard as we speak. But qualifying, white flag in the air, and that looks like it's going to wrap up qualifying. John Scheidrich is on the pole, and he's going to get those bonus points for qualifying first. And there you have it, John Scheidrich III on the pole for the Daytona International Speedway. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, we are at Daytona International Speedway for 200 miles in the iRacing Fun League. I want to appreciate all of you coming out here and watching with us. Thank you very much. And don't forget to say hello to us, and we'll talk to you guys as this race goes on. But thanks so much for tuning in. It's 82 degrees here in Daytona. It's going to be a night race. This race will end under the lights, so it's going to be very interesting. We'll go ahead and get through this grid here in just a moment. Congratulations to John Scheidrich III, the number 95. He is going to get that pole award, and he'll have those bonus points. So let's go ahead and see if we can start here on the board. There we go. John Scheidrich, he's going to get in his car and head to the grid here. Alrighty, cars are getting on track. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up John here before we get started, and then we'll go through the live leaderboard. Hey, John, it's David on the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. What's up?
Hey, congratulations on the pole, man. You're looking really fast out there tonight. Were you expecting to get that top spot here at Daytona?
I honestly wasn't even thinking about qualifying, but I was talking to Jimmy, and he was worried about losing draft in the beginning of the race, which that was a valid point. So I was like, I'll go for it. And we were literally just talking about it, and I don't know how I feel about being up here. I don't know if I like it or if I hate it. I'm nervous, that's for sure.
Alrighty, man. Well, you're looking really fast out there. I know a win is coming your way once again, but congrats on that pole. You're going to get those bonus points, and man, every little point matters, and you're off to a really good start tonight. Hopefully you can keep that car clean and up front. We'll be watching you all race long.
That's the plan. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty, you're welcome. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Alrighty, there you heard it from your pole winner, John Shirish III. We'll go ahead and run through this grid here real quick. Alrighty, so start in the first position, we just mentioned and spoke to John Shirish III in the number 95. He is in that 95 Chevy Camaro. Starting second is Elliott Swope in the number 33 Chevy Camaro. Starting third is Luke Mahone in the number 34 Toyota Camry. Starting in the fourth place position is Bryn George in the number 54 Toyota Camry. Starting fifth is Brandon Feeler in the number 39 Toyota Camry. Starting sixth is Matthew Karakoff in the 00 Ford Mustang. Starting in the P7 position is Steve Mormon in the number 26 Toyota Camry. Starting eighth is John Ledger in the Chevy Camaro number 25 Monster Energy. Starting ninth is Zachary Ward in the number 9 Chevy Camaro. Starting 10th is Stephen Gibson Jr. in the number 43 Toyota Camry. Starting in the 11th place position is Wes Gallo in the number 07 Toyota Camry. Starting 12th is Jake Mackey in the number 13 Ford Mustang. Starting in the 13th place position is Marshall Dugan in the number 45. Marshall out there running a new paint scheme. Good looking car. Starting in the 14th place position is Jeffrey Belk in the number 55 Toyota Camry. Starting 15th, Craig Bridge Jr. and the number 94 Ford Mustang for Team Bridge Racing. Starting 16th is Mark Ward. And then starting 17th is Jeff Laraway and the number 71 Ford Mustang. Starting 18th is Joe Tardif. Starting 19th is Corey Goodall in the 333. Starting 20th is Eric Olson in number 64. Eric's our iRacing 2024 iRacing All-Star winner. Starting 21st, Patrick Lucio, and right up field is Barney Sigmund. Green flag in the air. And we are underway. And there you have it. Last week's winner, Luke Mahone, gets that EOL. He'll be starting at the rear of the field, but Elliott Swope leads them down into turn number 1 for the first time here at Daytona. 75 laps are underway. And here we go. Bryn George on the high side. Looks like he's going to try and take that lead away from the 33 of Elliott Swope. But look at Karakoff in the 00 Ford Mustang. Man, he needs a good finish here in the iRacing Fun League. He's been struggling this next-gen season and looking for his next win. He did amazing in the truck series, and he said, man, I wish we can go back to those trucks and race them once again. But a little bit off pace here in the iRacing next-gen Cup Series. He's looking for his other next win of the season. He is currently locked in the playoffs. And right now he is 4th position overall in the standings. So the question is, will we have a new iRacing Fun League member here, a new winner here this season? At these super speedway style tracks, anybody can really win it. You just got to be in the right position at the right time, got to make the right passes and be with the right people around you on that last lap. It doesn't matter where you start this race, as long as you keep all 4 wheels on it and move it in the right direction, anybody really has a shot. So we're going to see who's got what it takes to put their car in position to win this thing at the end of the race. These guys do have 2 fast repairs that they can use, so if they do wreck, they do have that little bit of a cushion to get back out there and try once again. Lights are on Daytona. The sun is going down. We are on lap number 3, and things are so far smooth and steady. And it's Matthew Karakoff on that high side out front with John Ledger right behind him. Those 2 guys working towards the lead here. It's Karakoff and Ledger out front followed by Bryn George in the 54. Brandon Fiedler in the 39 car. He's always up there when it matters most. He's on the high side. Watch that number 39 car, because he knows how to get it done here. Alrighty, there's your live leaderboard on the left side of the screen. Karakov has got those bonus points for leading the lap. Scheidrich is kind of falling back a little bit. He's now in the 6th place position, and he moves back to the 7th place position as Steven Gibson makes the pass on him. Those two are actually battling side by side. I believe one's on the inside, one's on the outside. John so desperately needing that win this season. He's a little bit back there in the points, but he is currently locked in the playoffs. So he's just looking for some more speed out of that car. He said he was struggling the whole entire Cup Series, looking for a little bit of a break and a little bit of some luck here at Daytona Speedway. Looks like Barney Sigmund is off track. We were kind of hoping he would join us out here tonight, Barney. We're missing you. Wishing you were out there racing with us, but he has actually pulled off track. Coming to lap number 5 this time, or lap number 6 this time by. Karakov still out front, followed by John Ledger. Everybody's just trying to mind their P's and Q's this early in the race, trying not to make any bold moves too early on. All right, I want to point out Steven Gibson's running a really interesting paint scheme. I don't think he ended up putting his number in, but he's running an SVG number 97 paint scheme out there. Good looking car. I really like that paint scheme. I saw that on the iRacing Trade paints not that long ago, and I was like, man, I would so run that if I was out there with these guys. That's a great looking car, but it's the number 97 quad lock Chevy Camaro. That's a great looking paint scheme out there. Riding on board with Steven Gibson. Looking to the inside, trying to make that pass on Brandon Fiedler in 39. He moves down to the inside, going to lead that inside row as they're side by side at the line. What a power move by Steven Gibson. He takes the lead away and gets right in front of Karakov. That was an awesome move by Steven Gibson. So Gibson's going to lead a lap. He's going to get some bonus points for that. We got a car on the wall. Looks like Zachary Ward all the way up high. Or no, actually, that is Mark Ward. The other Ward. He's up high making contact with the outside wall there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground and make his way all the way to the back of this line here on the outside. Unfortunate for those guys. Mark was needing a really good run here. Alrighty, there is Joe Tardif in that number 8 Budweiser paint scheme. We were talking about that before this race got started. A really cool looking paint scheme. Like I said, that is the paint scheme that Dale Jr. raced here and won in 2001. Kind of a little bit of a throwback paint scheme. There you have it. So far, 11 laps in, Stephen Gibson out front, followed by Matthew Karakoff. John Ledger is battling side-by-side with Patrick Lucio. Patrick is also running a new paint scheme as well, the number 18. If you guys haven't noticed, he has that Money Lion 18 Toyota Camry. It's also a really good-looking car. Patrick, good to have you out there racing with us. Patrick is from Norfolk, Virginia. He's up in that high side in that teal 18 car. A lot of cool looking paint schemes out there as well. If you guys have a favorite paint scheme, give us a shout out in the comments section. Let us know who you like the most and who you're rooting for out there as well. So far, I'm really digging that number 97 SVG paint scheme from Stephen Gibson. That 18 car, though, I always loved that Money Line paint scheme. All those Money Line paint schemes in the in the NASCAR Cup Series that Tyler Reddick and Kurt Busch ran. Those are some really cool looking cars, but really digging that 18 as well. But look at that, Patrick Lucio up to the high side. He gets around the 97 or 43 of Stephen Gibson, and he's going to take this lead away with Jeffrey Belk right behind him. We haven't talked about Jeffrey Belk, but he's up there in the lead. We almost kind of wonder, where did he come from? He kind of started towards the back. He's actually moved up 12 spots along with Patrick Lucio. Patrick Lucio moved up 20 spots from where he started. So these two guys came from the back, making their way up to the front. So keep an eye on the 18 and 55. These two guys are doing a heck of a job getting up there to the front row early on in this race. That's one impressive stat we can go over tonight. Up 19 spots, Patrick Lucio, from where we started. So there is also a battle for most positions gained, and those are more bonus points awarded to that driver as well after this is over. So right now, Patrick Lucio has the most positions gained in this race, and he has those bonus points in sight so far. Marshall Dugan also starting this race off pretty strong. He has moved up 8 spots. He's currently in 4th place as we speak. And he's running a new paint scheme out there as well, that 45 car. Sharon Laraway says, hi, David. Good luck to Craig in the 94 and Jeff in the 71. Thank you for the awesome broadcast every week. Sharon, I appreciate it very, very much. Always appreciate you coming on, saying hi, and letting us know who you're rooting for. We'll go ahead and show you Jeff and Craig right now. So there's Craig and the 94. Everybody's just kind of minding their P's and Q's early on this race, keeping it clean, keeping it safe. They do have 2 fast repairs in case there is any trouble on track. And right now, Craig is kind of just keeping it safe towards the back here. He is currently in 17th place position. And then Jeff Laraway, he's moving his way up through the field. Jeff Laraway is currently inside the top 10. He is 8th right now in that 71 Ford Mustang. So we'll be keeping an eye on him as this race goes on. He's off to a great start. Jeff has moved up 8 spots from where he started this race. So he's doing a heck of a job up there in that 71 car. And on the high side, as he goes around, Stephen Gibson's kind of falling back a little bit. As you just saw on screen, he's falling back through the field. And he moves back. Gibson's back to the 12th place position. Laraway moving up through the field. He is on a mission right now in that 71 car. Laraway has now moved inside the top 5 up to P4. He has got 14 positions gained. Up to P3 he goes on the inside row here. He is right behind Wes Gallo in the 07. But there you have it. Jeff Laraway moves up to P3 on that inside row. And don't look now, but look who took over this lead. It's Zachary Ward, the number 9. Last year in the iRacing Fun League, we watched Zachary Ward and Kane Vandemark really dominate this race at Daytona. And those two guys were drafting all race long, and they were the 2 cars to beat. And I believe it was Kane Vandemark who won it last year at Daytona in the night race. And watch that 9 car. Whenever he gets out front, man, he knows how to walk away with this thing. If you can work with that 9 car, that is the guy you want to be pushing or have pushing for you. Alrighty, so far pretty clean racing. We've had some interesting lead changes all race long. We've had a couple cars up there in the mix. We've had Patrick Lucio make his way all the way from the back of the field up to the front, along with Stephen Gibson, who moved up there quite a bit. He started in the 10th place position and was leading some laps, but he fell back quite a bit. Not sure what happened there, but now he's running in 10th. Looks like 11th place as we speak, as he battles with John Ledger on the inside row. But look at this. We got Wes Gallo up there. He's going to take that lead away, but Karikoff down to the inside. And it's Karikoff at the line. He's going to lead that lap and take that lead away from the 07. And there's John Scheidrich in the 95. He's back up there towards the front as he runs P2. So far, so good all race long. We're on lap number 18, caution free. And look at that. Jake Maki swings his car all the way down the inside row. He's going to lead that inside right in front of Karikoff. And there is John in the 95. Both of them and Marshall Dugan all drop down the inside row to take over that inside line. The outside looks like it's going to probably fall off here. Joe Tardif on the high side, right in front of Craig Bridge, trying to get up there towards the front. Let's see if they can work together and get that outside row formed. Alrighty, we're going to go do a little NASCAR crank it up style. Here we go, NASCAR crank it up. Alrighty, back to the lead. Look at that as Stephen Gibson making his way back up there through the field. Marshall Dugan right behind him. And it just blows my mind how these guys are coming up through the field, falling back, and then making their way back up there. The draft is really working out there very well tonight. And Stephen Gibson is making his car work, going up to the front. I can't even believe Marshall Dugan out to the lead with John Shires right behind him on the outside row. I cannot believe how well the draft is working for these cars and how they're able to get in position. And it looks like we have a car in the wall. Oh, major crash. No caution. We stay caution free. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what happened there on that last lap. We're going to go ahead and fast forward here for just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what happened there in the backstretch. There was no caution called for this. Steve Mormon on the high side. And there it is. Right, it was Steve Mormon, Corey Goodall. And we stay caution free. Nobody spun out. That is the bad thing about these iRacing controlled cautions is whenever there's a car that doesn't spin, but there's contact, the iRacing server doesn't, or the services doesn't throw a caution when nobody gets spun out. So Steve Mormon involved along with Jeff Laraway. Unfortunate for those guys, they're having such a good race. Laraway had a really fast car out there, and unfortunately he just got the nose taken off. Steve Mormon collected it as well. And it's unfortunate for those guys that were having such a good race. Look who is up front, though. Joe Tardif to the lead. He has 17 positions gained as we speak to the front. There you have it. Joe Tardif followed by Steven Gibson and Wes Gallo in the 07. Man, I feel so bad for Steve Mormon, Jeff Laraway, and Corey Goodall. Those guys were having such a good race, and no caution was called. And as they drop down to the inside of the track here, it looks like Gibson, Zachary Ward, and Joe Tardif are all going to make their pit stops on lap number 25. Sun is going down, lights are on track. We're going to end this thing in the nighttime, and there is Joe Tardif making his pit stop of the night along with Zachary Ward and Steven Gibson in the 9 and the 97 there on screen. Mark Ward also on pit road. Alrighty, to the lead, it's Jake Mockey in the 13, followed by Matthew Karakoff in the 00 car. Go get first, Luke Mahone, he says. Michael Mahone. Right now, Luke Mahone, let's go ahead and pull him up. Luke Mahone is currently in the 7th place position. Bunch of cars come down pit road as they all, contact. Elliott Swope, Jeffrey Belk, and the 25 spins. Oh, man, there was contact between Jeffrey Belk, Elliott Swope, and John Ledger. Let's go ahead and back that up real quick. We're going to go ahead and take another look at what just unfolded there. And it looked like the 25 and Jeffrey Belk maybe got into each other here. The 25 gets spun. Everybody's trying to go for the same spot under this pit stop here. We'll go ahead and take a look. Yeah, it looked like the 55 and 18, also Elliott Swope. The 55 just kind of got spun around and made contact with the 25. And unfortunate for those guys. There's been so many lead changes, I can't even just keep up with who's all in the lead. Steven Gibson right now is your race leader on lap number 26 of 75. We stay caution free. Caution flag has not waved all race long. Zachary Ward is P2 and Joe Tardif is P3. There is your lead pack of cars right now on screen. That's the problem with these iRacing servers, or iRacing cautions, is sometimes they don't make the best judgments. And in this league, we let the cautions determine themselves from iRacing. And the problem is when you have contact between two cars and they make contact with the wall, or they have damage and they keep going in the same direction, the caution flag does not come out. And that's what we saw early on this race. There was no caution call, but there was Steve Mormon, Jeff Laraway, and Corey Goodall all made contact, but they kept moving in the same direction, and the caution flag did not drop that early race contact. Alrighty, so far everybody is on the lead lap except for Steve Mormon in the 26. He is 19th. Mark Ward is in the 10th, or in the 20th place position, number 10. He is 1 lap down, along with Jeff Laraway and Barney Sigmund, who is off track. So your 3 cars 1 lap down is Mark Ward, Steve Mormon, and Jeff Laraway. They have all gone 1 lap down. They're going to battle for that lucky dog. Should a caution come out, they will get that wave around. But right now, here is your lead pack of cars with Steven Gibson out front, followed by Zachary Ward. Jake Maki is currently 3rd. Wes Gallo is 4th. Matthew Karikoff is 5th, and Joe Tariff is 6th. John Scheidrich is in that second group of cars. He is the lead car in that group, followed by Marshall Dugan, Luke Mahone, Britt George, and John Ledger at the tail end of that pack. That is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th. We're on lap number 29 of 75. Alrighty, behind John Ledger is Eric Olson. He leads this 3rd pack of cars on screen with Elliott Swope right behind him, Jeffrey Belk. There is Craig Bridge in the 94, followed by Corey Goodall in the 333, and then Brandon Feather rounds out that pack of cars in 17. And there's Patrick Lucio. Unfortunately for him, he was kind of caught up in one of those messes, and he is unfortunately all by himself on lap number 30 with no help from any partners on track. A little bit of chaos early on in this race. We're not even at the halfway mark just yet, and we've already saw our fair share of contact, and no cautions have been waived yet. So there's that first group of cars, second group of cars, and third group of cars, kind of spaced off a little bit here. If these guys can work together, this second pack of cars should be able to make their way up there. Let's go ahead and take a look at who's leading that, and it looks like it was John Ledger. Oh, it's actually Luke Mahone who's leading that group of cars. Luke Mahone is currently in the 7th place position, followed by Bryn George in the 54. These guys are trying to work together, form up single file, see if they can catch that front group. There you have it. There is those cars trying to work together. They need to all kind of group up and draft each other as best they can. They are just a little bit, about half a straightaway off the front pack of cars. And then followed back behind them is Elliott Swope and Eric Olson leading that group of cars. So these guys should be able to catch up to each other. They're not too far off pace. They just need to work together and push each other to see if they can get back up there towards the lead. And they should be able to get up there fairly easy. Alrighty, we're on lap number 33 of 75. Steven Gibson out front, followed by Zachary Ward and Jake Maki. Wes Gallo in the 07, he is 4th, and Matthew Karikoff rounds out your top 5. And there is the lead group. Steve Mormon is 1 lap down, trying to get his lap back. I believe he is the lead car 1 lap, so if the caution does fly, he will get that lucky dog wave around. Second group of cars, there is Luke Mahone in the 34. Luke Mahone is in the 7th place position. Man, I feel so bad. Like Jeff Laraway, we were watching him, and he was making his way up to the front, and man, he looked like he had a rocket ship for a car out there. He started towards the back, made his way all the way up to P3, Looking for a really good finish here at Daytona. He needs a good run here for the point standings. Right now he is inside the playoffs, but he's just looking for a good run. And there you have it on screen, Jeff Laraway, who is 9th in the playoff standings. Doesn't have a win just quite yet, but is due for a win any day or any week now. And he is 175, tied with Eric Olson, 175. They are plus 175 points above the cut line. On your bubble, on the bubble there, it looks like Elliott Swope, Mark Ward, right there. Any position changes can, any points differences after this race in Darlington is really going to shake that up. Also, Kane Vandermark, unfortunately, has not been with us for a couple weeks now. Kane might end up knocking himself out of the playoffs. He is right there at the bubble there. Luke Mahone, who is in 19th, has a win this season, but has not made the 15-race minimum with the lock for the playoffs. He is looking for that last spot. So if Luke Mahone can take advantage of Kane not being here, he's going to make that jump and get himself inside the playoffs, along with Mark Ward as well. So it's going to be real interesting to see who can hold their positions and make it the next 2 weeks. Already back on track. We're watching a couple of these cars as they're trying to make their way to the front pack here. It looks like they're closing in on them. There is that front group of cars, and they have caught up. So that middle pack, we have 3 separate packs of cars trying to work their way up back to the front here, and it looks like it's paid off. And right now, everybody is kind of bunched up back together. There's one more pack, the 3rd pack back, that's led by Eric Olson. They're trying to get their cars in position, working together to get up there towards the front. This front pack of cars now is kind of all over the track, as you see Patrick Lucio and Karakov on the high side, along with Marshall Dugan, that 45 car. They need to all get working together if they want to pull away from that backpack. But this back here with Eric Olson, they are all single file, and if they do all work together, they should be able to catch that front pack, which is just half a backstretch down the track. There you have Eric Olson. Let's go ahead and ride on board with him for just a moment here. Here's Eric Olson and the number 64 car. He is working his way up to this front pack as you see out his windshield. They're not too far off. These guys should be able to catch him. We should resume some good racing here. Jeff Laraway has unfortunately gone one more lap down. He is now 2 laps down. And man, we are really hoping for a good race out of him. He was off to a really great start. And just unfortunately has gone 2 laps down from the circumstances. Steve Mormon is still that lead car 1 lap down, followed by Patrick Lucio and Mark Ward. But there you have it. There is the difference between that back group of cars and that front of the pack. So they are closing in on them. They're catching them. They're all working their butts off trying to get up to the front, and they should catch them any lap now. Alrighty, Steven Gibson really flexing his muscles out front. Looks like Mark Ward's kind of pulled off the track here. He drops down to the inside. Not quite sure if there's issues with that number 10 car, but he pulls off, heads through the grass a little bit here. That number 10, not sure if there's damage to that car, but he's going to go down through the grass on the backstretch. Mark Ward is another driver that needs a really good run here. He is on the bubble in the playoff standings. We just mentioned him moments ago that he needs a good run here in the iRacing Fun League if he wants to compete for a championship here in the playoffs. Like I said, he is on the bubble. Right there, he is -8 points outside the top 16. And he brings that car to pit road. Not sure if it had some damage or what was the case there, but he is going to take that car back to pit road. Back to the front of the race here, we have Jake Mocking, the 13. He takes the lead away, followed by Matthew Karakov in the 00 car. And it looks like Steven Gibson once again has kind of dropped back a little bit. Not quite sure what that reason was, or if he just kind of made the wrong move and moved up the track out of the draft here. But he falls back quite a bit. Lap number 41 of 75, and all the cars on track have now grouped up back with each other. We'll go ahead and show you guys. So there you have it. There is everybody except for the number 10 has finally caught back up with each other. And so far, everybody on the lead lap except for Patrick Lucio, Steve Mormon, Jeff Laraway, and Mark Ward. Those cars are all lapped down at the moment. Alrighty, while we're out here, let's go ahead and pull up Matthew Karikoff in the 00 car and talk with him. Hey Matthew, it's David up with you. Got me?
Yeah, David.
Hey man, looking like you're having a good race out there. That car is looking fast at Daytona. How is the race going for you? And I see you working with Jake Maki up there. You guys are looking very strong.
Yeah, we're working good together. This is fun. This is my kind of track here.
Jake Maki we spoke to earlier before the race started, and he said he was looking forward to the Daytona here tonight. The two of you guys drafting each other, making it look easy and working really well together. Did you guys plan that before this thing got started, or it just kind of worked out as it goes?
Kind of worked out. We both had great pit stops, so it gave us a position to work together, and so we're going to do that, and hopefully the next pit stop, the same thing will happen.
Now, one question I wanted to ask you is the draft just is it working extremely well here tonight? We watched leaders go to the front, to the back, more times than I can count. Good example is Steven Gibson. How is the racing going out there, and like, how are these cars making their way up to the front and dropping back so easily?
It's good because you can pull out, you can bump draft so hard and the cars aren't getting too swirly. But once you're behind somebody, you got to duck out just an inch or two to get a run to bump draft them. You can't really go anywhere when you're just two cars front to back. It's weird. There's a buffer, an air buffer, and you can't get to the car in front of you.
All right, yeah, it's been interesting. We've been watching Steven Gibson make his way from the back to the front more times than I can count, and it's just been pretty cool seeing the different leaders of this race up there. And, man, it just seems like the draft is working extremely well, and a lot of good racing going on here tonight.
Yeah, I wish I was up there with you coming to these pit stops. They're going to get pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll let you go, and good luck out there. We're rooting for you. Hopefully you have a good race, and we'll talk to you later on.
Thanks, David. Thanks for the broadcast.
Yep, thank you. All right, there you heard it from Matthew Karikoff in the 00 car. He was up there working with Jake Maki, the leader, who actually... Oh, there's a wreck.
Big crash. Caution.
Oh, Joe Tardif, Elliott Swope, all involved. Joe Tardif was looking for a really good run here at Daytona, and he is involved in that wreck. Let's go ahead and take a look at that once again and figure out what all happened. Caution flag out for the first time here at Daytona. Oh, and it looks like Jeff Laraway in the 71. But he might have had some help there. Take another look. One of the yellow EGR cars, maybe? Oops, sorry guys. Well, let me back that up. I'm sorry. We're trying to take a look to see how this all got started. So right now we're under caution. A big wreck has come out. And who is that car on the high side? Looks like Brandon Fiedler in the 39. Yep, that's who it is. And let's go ahead and take a look. So right now we're 3 wide coming through turns 3 and 4. Jeff Litterway all the way on the high side. And he is followed by Brandon Fiedler in the 39. So Luke Mahone moves up the track in the 34. Looked like Laraway in the wall a little bit, grazed it, but it looks like Brandon just turned around the 71. The 71 came down the track and made contact with Joe Tardif, and then the rest of the field had nowhere to go, so they get collected in that as well. And yeah, looks like that's what happened. Let's go ahead and back that up one more time. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I apologize. Looks like there's the 71 with the 39 right behind him. And we're just taking a look, see how this all got started. The 71 all the way up on the high side here. I think the 71, so we're going to stop it right here. And let's go ahead and take a look here behind this car. And there you have it. There is the turn from the 39 from Brandon Fiedler. But it looked like Jeff Laraway, all up on the high side, made contact with the wall. Right here, it looks like he kind of hits the wall here, gets in the wall, there's some sparks. And then the 39, I think the 71 got checked up from making contact with the wall. And the 39 of Brandon Fiedler was just kind of right there in the wrong spot, the wrong time. Didn't realize there was going to be a checkup and just made contact with that left rear quarter panel side of the 71. So the 71 came down, and then that's what happened where he made contact with the 8. Steve Mormon had nowhere to go. And then Wes Gallo also involved in that as well, looked like. But yep, there you have it, guys. So that was your wreck under caution. Joe Tardif had to use his fast repair, bring that car down pit road. But we're going to get all these cars collected, restacked back up once again. And we'll go back up here to the front. So pace car is on track, and right now your leader is Bryn George, number 54, and he's going to bring that car down pit road. Let's go ahead and pull up. Oh, Karakoff stays out in the 00. Stephen Gibson, Marshall Dugan, Corey Goodall, and John Scheidrich all stay out as well. We'll go ahead and pull up Bryn George here and talk with him. Hey, Bryn, it's David up the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, how is the race going out there? Been a pretty chaotic all race long. You guys get your first caution of the race. A little bit of a break for you. But how's your car handling out there? See you up there towards the front.
It's been pretty good, to be honest. It's been a lot of fuel saving, which is kind of a little boring. But we've had some exciting moments too, and I've gotten the lead twice, so that's nice. I don't know what the end's going to be like. It's going to be a lot of fuel saving, and we still might be short.
Oh, man, you don't want to hear you being short on fuel. That's never a good thing at Daytona. But, hey, man, your car's looking pretty fast out there. It's been an exciting race. We've had a lot of lead changes all race long. And is that draft just something that's really powerful here at Daytona, that you could just work your car from the back up to the front? We've seen Stephen Gibson get up there many times tonight as well.
Yeah, the draft is pretty strong. The side draft is super strong with these cars. There's a little bit of an air bubble. So you have to drag the brake a little bit, but the draft is super strong.
Well, that's awesome. It's been putting on some really good racing here at Daytona, but good to talk with you, Bryn, and good luck out there. We'll be rooting for you, and maybe we'll talk to you later on this race.
Let's hope. Thank you, man.
All righty, good luck.
Thanks.
There you heard it from Bryn George, the number 54. Bryn is currently in the 9th place position after making his pit stop. All right, to the front of the track. Lights are off the pace car. We're getting ready to go green flag racing once again, and it is Karakoff in the lead, followed by Stephen Gibson on the outside row. Marshall Dugan is 3rd. Corey Goodall is 4th. Pace car is off, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing once again.
Green.
There you have it, green flag in the air on lap number 48. Karakoff to the lead, followed by Stephen Gibson on the outside. And it's Steven Gibson who powers out to the lead. That car is showing a lot of speed here tonight. We watched Gibson many times make his way from the back of the pack to the front, and he once again puts his car in position to lead the race. Oh, car on the wall. It's Bryn George.
One thing for sure, everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off. At
Bryn
somebody else on the
George, we
racetrack
just
before
spoke
this
to
race is
moments
over with.
ago. Caution back out once again. '54 in the wall. Looked like the 07, his teammate, just gave him too much of a push. We're going to back that up one more time, guys, and take another look, because I think it was just a big push from the 07, and just that car was not straight. And that's one thing about these cars is there's that little rear camera on the rear side of the car. If you're not lined up perfectly with that, these cars can get pretty squirrely if you get a big bump on them. So I think that's what happened with the 07. He's just not lined up. As you see his hood here, kind of works left, works right, and then I think he comes back left here once again. And there you have it, goes back left. Car wasn't quite lined up. See the bump, there's the bump, and it was on that left corner, and that's just what got Bryn around. And caution comes out. So those cars drafting really hard. Wes was trying to give him a bump or give him a push, but those cars were just not perfectly lined up down the backstretch, and there's the result of that. Alrighty, back up here. We're under caution for the second time of the night. Unfortunate for Bryn, who we just spoke to moments ago, under caution on that last restart. They're going to bring their cars all back down pit road. That's Bryn George and most of the field. It looks like the whole entire field actually on pit road. Lorraine Neha says, go John Ledger. What car is Harley? What car is Lorraine? Refresh my memory. Which car are you talking about? There you have John Ledger in the 25 Monster Energy Camaro. Good looking paint scheme on that car. That's one of my favorites. Love the Monster Energy paint schemes. Is Harley, are you asking if there's like a Harley Davidson paint scheme on track, or? I'm trying to remember if there's anybody on track. I know Zachary Ward has kind of a camo looking paint scheme, and then Joe Tardif has that really cool Budweiser Dale Jr. throwback paint scheme on track. Those two cars are pretty cool. Joe Tardif just unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time in that last caution. He was down there on the inside row, and it looked like Jeff Laraway just got kind of spun there and ended up right in front of him. Looks like car's going to come back down pit road once again and re-top off on fuel. And right now we have Corey Goodall, who is out there towards the front in that 333 car. Let's go ahead and pull him up there. Hey Corey, it's David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, how's it going, Dave?
Hey, I'll make it quick and short. I know we're one lap to green here. But man, your car up there in the front, you got enough fuel to get to the end or not quite?
I do now, yeah.
Awesome.
I've been clutching it during the cautions.
I was going to say, we just saw a bunch of people come in. I bet you I was like, they're probably going to top off on fuel and try and make it to the end here. But man, good luck out there in that that Ford Mustang you got. So how's the race going out there? We saw a lot of drafting, a lot of bumps, and it seems like the draft is working extremely well here tonight. And we spoke to a couple other guys, and they said, man, if you could really work with these cars and push them to the lead.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I just kind of trying to hang out in the back and avoid getting into trouble with the checkups, but yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Corey, well, good luck up there in the front. We'll be watching you, and hopefully we'll talk to you later on after this race is over.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All righty, we'll talk to you soon. There you heard it from Corey Goodall in the 333 car. He's going to start on the outside row, followed by John Scheiders right behind him. And it looks like Steven Gibson currently has the race lead. Alrighty, pace car's getting ready to pull off once again, and we're going to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment. And green flag back in the air. We have 24 laps to go in this race. Oh, Lorraine said didn't know Harley's in there racing. No problem. I didn't know if you're referring to Harley as a paint scheme or Harley as a driver. I was like, I don't know who that is, but I appreciate you for coming out and saying hello. And, man, I'm hoping for John Ledger having a good race as well. I'm rooting for him in that 25 car. Always love seeing that Monster Energy paint scheme up front. But as we were mentioning, it's really anybody's race here tonight. Steven Gibson's been looking fast all race long. He has been working the draft extremely well as he gets pushed by Matthew Karikoff in that 00. But we just spoke to Corey Goodall in that outside row as well, and he's looking for a good race. A lot of these guys looking for their first win of the season. And right now, Steven Gibson and Corey Goodall, or actually Corey Goodall has that one win at Daytona in the Truck Series. He won the season opener. But Steven Gibson, I don't believe, has a win yet this season. Steven Gibson does not have a win this season. He won last year a couple times in the iRacing Fun League and had a great season going. But right now, Steven Gibson not currently inside the playoffs just yet. He is quite a ways back there in the playoff standings. Alrighty, so as we mentioned earlier in this race, these guys only have 2 quick repairs, so they need to manage them extremely well. A bunch of these guys are probably down to their last quick repair if they have not used that already. There's been 2 cautions so far tonight, and I think a couple of them have had to use both fast repairs already. So if they're down to that last fast repair, they need to use it wisely. Eric Olson making his way up there towards the front in that number 64 Chevy Camaro. He's right there behind Craig Bridge and number 94. These guys are moving their way up through the pack, and they are in a great points position right now on track. We saw a little bit of a bobble in that 64 car with John Ledger right behind him. There's Luke Mahone going for the lead in the number 34. He drops down the inside and gets around the leader of Steven Gibson with Corey Goodall right behind him. Those 2 guys going to work together and move up through the pack. But look at Matthew Karikoff moves up the track, gets right in front of Steven Gibson on the high side. And Luke Mahone goes right back up there once again to block that outside row from forming. And look at the inside. It's Corey Goodall. See if he can get up there. He needs Craig Bridge to give him a big shove. Craig Bridge needs to get right to the bumper of Corey Goodall to get that inside row moving. See if he can make his way up there. But that inside row kind of falling back a little bit. That's what I was talking about. You need to get up there towards the bumper to push that guy in front of you if you want to get up to the lead. The inside row really falling back. That's the thing about these super speedway tracks. You really got to find a partner or somebody to work with you and push. You see the 97 there on screen. That's Steven Gibson giving the leader a bump. You really got to push that guy in front of you if you want to get up there towards the front. And we saw too much of a gap from Craig Bridge Jr. and Corey Goodall in that inside row And that was the result of that. They fall back a little bit. That outside row, though, really dissipated. And now everybody kind of fell to the bottom here. Matthew Karakoff having a great run so far tonight. Don't want to jinx it, but that 00 has been fast all race long inside the top 3. He's back up there right behind Steven Gibson. Jake Maki right there behind him. 18 laps to go at the line this time by. We'll go ahead and pull up Wes Gallo and see what happened there on screen in that last caution. Hey, Wes, David Abooth, you got me?
I sure do. How you doing, bud?
Hey, how's the race going out there for you?
Chaotic and fun. It's this has been a blast.
Hey, we see all you guys' paint schemes on track. You guys' cars fast are looking really fast all race long. Walk us through that last bump there, though. Did you just have the car not lined up with Bryn George in front of you?
The restart there, I felt like I was getting a push in the back, and I just didn't expect the line to check up. It was a hilariously terrible mistake. And on top of that, I had like sarcastically like, hey, do you want to push? And then half a second later, I wrecked half the field.
Yeah, and I felt bad because I thought I jinxed Bryn because I talked to him just moments before that happened. And then next thing I know, he's getting pushed and he turned around like, oh, like I just jinxed him. I knew it. So it was funny.
It's the magic of racing with me. I get excited and I'll have probably too much fun when I need to be serious, and then I do stupid stuff. But luckily we're still in it and we're making a big push at the front right here.
Yeah, you guys are all working together on that high side, looking extremely fast up there. We noticed the draft is extremely strong tonight, and a lot of these cars that work together are able to get all the way up there to the front. So it's been really interesting to watch all race long.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of race ability. You really can you just got to watch the run. Everyone's in fuel save mode, so it's kind of been awkward to try to time everything, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to like exert themselves. But it's kind of made for some fun racing towards the end here now that we know we can make it.
Yeah, definitely. That's the other thing. We talked to Corey, and he said you guys should be good on fuel, make it here to the end.
Yep. We're yeah. I just checked my fuel. I got 18 laps with 15 to go in the race, so we're good to go. We even got one green white checker if we're unlucky enough to get one of them.
All righty. Well, good luck out there, Wes, and maybe we'll talk to you later on this race.
I sure hope so. I am longing for a win. This is one of my best tracks, so let's get it.
All righty. Good luck.
Thank you, buddy. See you.
All right, there you heard it from Wes Gallo in the 07 car. He is currently 6th place on screen. Those EGR cars all lined up on the high side, and that's what we were talking about moments ago. If you want to get up there to the front, you got to find somebody to draft with, and it's no shock that these Toyotas are all lined up 1 through 5, and then you saw Luke Mahone drop down to the inside right in front of Steven Gibson. That's going to change things up a little bit. He's trying to slow down that inside row from forming, and that's what you got to do as the lead car. You got to really watch, kind of control the inside runs or the outside as they form, and you don't want to get the inside or outside to gain on you. Right now, his friends up on the high side starting to lead the pack. That's Brandon Fiedler in the 39 car. He's going to lead that outside row. But you kind of have to drop down to the inside or the outside and manage those lines as they form if you want to control this race. And that's what we just saw moments ago, the 34 dropping out of the inside row. But right now, Brandon Fiedler is going to stick his car out front, and he's going to lead a lap here at Daytona. Alrighty, let's go back to NASCAR Crank It Up style one more time before we get this thing wrapped up. It's 13 laps to go this time in the race. Already back up here to the front. Let's go ahead and give you guys a kind of perspective in-car cameras on screen. We'll go ahead and ride on board with Jake Maki here and show you what it's like inside the cockpit around this track and how nerve-wracking this can be. So here's Jake Maki right behind Matthew Karakoff in the 00, but that's what these guys got to go through. As they go almost 200 miles per hour around this track, they got to stick to the bumper of the guy in front of them. With only a couple feet between the guy next to you on track. Go ahead and ride on board with John Scheidrich this time. How about Craig Bridge back here in the 16th place position, the 94? Three wide down the backstretch into turn 3. That's Elliott Swope in the middle of the 33 car. And there you have it. That's what happens. Caution is out. That's what happens when you really push the envelope and you run it 3 wide.
When you're on track, right after that caution bell.
Caution flag is out with only a handful of laps left. Elliott Swope involved along with Craig Bridge. And that's what I was talking about just a second ago. They were going 3 wide down into turn 3. Let's go ahead and see if we can take another look. There you have Elliott Swope in the middle, 3 wide. Eric Olson all the way on the bottom of the track. I think the 33, it didn't really come down, but the 64 was just kind of there, and I think the two just got into each other just a little bit. And the 33 of Elliott Swope was just pushing for all he could to get up there to the front. Just made contact with the 64 of Eric Olson, and that was the result of that. Alrighty, so back green flag here. Under caution at the moment. Caution flag is Elliott Swope. Is going to have to bring that car down pit road. I believe he has some damage on that 33 car. Stephen Gibson, John Scheidrich down pit road along with Craig Bridge and Elliott Swope. They all bring their cars in on pit road. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for tuning in here in the iRacing Fun League. I appreciate y'all for coming out and watching us. This is the Friendly Unwind Nights League, and we are on week number 25 of the year of the 2024 Road to Cup season. We've already raced the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and we're on the Cup Series for the final series of the season before we get these playoffs underway. We're under caution for the 3rd time tonight at Daytona. We only have 1 race left in this season before we get to the playoffs. And so some of these guys looking for their first win of the year. Karakoff is currently your race leader under caution. Jake Maki right behind him in 2nd. And Luke Mahone is currently 3rd. Corey Goodall is 4th. And Brandon Fiedler right now rounds out your top 5. On lap number 67. With just under 10 laps to go. 18 cars on the lead lap. Jeff Laraway is your lead car, 1 lap down. Patrick Lucio is off track along with Mark Ward and Barney Sigmund. Looks like we have 1 more lap under caution before we get back to green flag racing here. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to take the win away. Is it going to be Luke Mahone once again to go back-to-back? He won last week at Michigan. Or is it going to be somebody new? Is it going to be Jake Maki for the first time this season? Or is Karakov going to get his first win of the Cup season? So there is your live leaderboard and 7 laps to go tonight. As I mentioned earlier in this race, I'm going to get those logos fixed for you guys. We're going to try and get the iRacing Fun League back up on the leaderboard. I need to get all the details worked out, and I need to get with Doug Burns of How to Suck at iRacing. If you ever watched his broadcast, he does a phenomenal job, and he's helped me get these broadcasts going a little bit. He kind of walked me through how to start this, and still learning here as I go. This is my first time, first full season broadcasting, so giving it my best shot. So bear with me, guys, but we're going to get the kinks worked out. Need to get all the animations figured out along with the graphic for the iRacing Fun League. We'll get that pulled up on screen maybe for next race and get it all figured out, but that should be up there in the live leaderboard. But thank you guys for watching our videos. I really, really appreciate it. It's always fun. I'm just doing this for fun. There's no money to be awarded here in the iRacing Fun League. These are strictly just fun races I put on for these guys. And I just enjoy watching everybody race. And hopefully everyone has a good time watching and racing in this series. But we're getting ready to go green flag racing once again. The pace lights are off on the pace car. And we're watching them head down into turn 3. It's going to be 6 laps to go at the line. Down through turn 4 before we get started here. Pace car is about to pull off. All right, there you have it. Pace car pulls off track, and it's Karakov who's going to lead them at the line with Jake Maki on the outside row. Green flag in the air. 6 laps to go here at Daytona. And everybody is on their feet in the crowd, cheering these guys on as we head down into turn number 1. Jake Maki with a big run on the outside row. He gets all the way down the track to the inside to take the lead away from Karakov. And there you have Corey Goodall on the high side in that 333 car. Little bit of a wiggle there behind him. That's Bryn George in 54, 3 wide down the backstretch. And there's a caution out.
Keep it up, caution is out. Not gonna be quicker, but
We just saw a caution out last time for 3 wide, and they go 3 wide once again down the backstretch. Oh, and more contact between Corey and Craig Bridge. Caution back out for the 4th time of the night. Oops, I'm sorry guys, I hit the wrong button here. Here we go. So one more look at that. It's getting tricky now. I think a lot of these guys are winding down this race with no more fast repairs, so it's going to be interesting to see who has a car left in this race that doesn't have damage. Zachary Ward with heavy damage to the front end of that number 9. He's going to bring that car down pit road. Looks like Brent George might have gotten out of the car. Oh, nope, he's still good. I thought he might have left the track, but he's still good. Alrighty, back up here to the front. It's Jake Maki and Karakov who are leading this race, followed by Luke Mahone and Brandon Fiedler. Wes Gallo rounds out your top 5 with 4 laps to go. Hey Jake, it's David on the booth. You got me?
Hey, Dave, what's going on?
Hey man, you got a really fast car out there tonight. Congratulations for leading this thing right now. Did you want to see that caution come out? I know you can make it to the end, but everyone's going to get restacked up right behind you.
Well, so when that late caution came, I don't even remember, what was it, lap 30, lap 45 or something like that? We were on a really good strategy to make it a quick little splash and dash on fuel, and that didn't come to fruition with all the cautions, so everyone started playing the little fuel up and just try to get what they can. And me and Matt have just been sitting here trying to play whatever we can with traffic and just try to get together. And so far, so good tonight, but I'm not expecting this to finish where we're at right now. I'm expecting this to go a little crazy over the next, like, I don't know, what do we got, 4 or 5 laps maybe?
Yep, right now I think at the line it's going to be 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to get a green-white checkered here coming up after this. I don't expect this to go green to the finish.
Do you still have both your fast repairs? That is the question.
I do. I saved them up. I kept on checking them. I was stressing over that all race because I used them the first time when we raced at Talladega in the Xfinity, so definitely been saving those tonight.
Well, that's awesome. Good to hear you for saving them to the very end. But being out front, you look like you have a good shot to win this thing. We'll be watching you on the restarts, and maybe we'll talk to you later on after this thing's over. Good luck out there, and good luck controlling those runs.
Appreciate it. I hope to talk to you once this is all over.
All righty. Good luck, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, there you heard it from race leader Jake Maki in the number 13. He's going to restart on the inside row with Matthew Karakov on the outside right behind him, or on the outside right next to him, rather. We're going green flag racing this time by as they head out of turn 2. Lights are off the pace car. We have 3 laps to go. We are under caution for the 4th time tonight here at Daytona. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching with us in the iRacing Fun League. I appreciate you all. And we're going to get ready to go green flag racing here in just a moment. We just watched 2 back-to-back cautions come out for 3 wide racing. So these guys are pushing their cars as hard as they can. They want to get up there to the front. So guys getting a little bit of antsy here in Daytona. Only 2 races left in the regular season, so everybody's trying their hardest to make their way into the playoffs who haven't had a win yet in this season. And we'll go ahead and talk to you about those playoff positions here in just a second. There you have it. That's after Michigan. All right, we're going to go ahead and go back to green flag racing. Pace car is about to pull off. And there you have it. Pace car off the track. Jake Maki is going to lead them down at the start-finish line. Green flag in the air. It's going to be a green-white checker here at Daytona. The 13 off to a big start. Luke Mahone, the 34, right behind him on the inside, and Matthew Karakov to the high side. One, two, three, all stacked up. That's Jake Maki, Luke Mahone, and Brandon Fiedler. They're coming up to the white flag this time by out of turn 4. John Ledger looks like he was all the way up on the high side, almost grazed the wall there on that top lane. Alrighty, white flag in the air for the final time. It's Jake Maki out, but there's chaos behind them. A lot of bumping going on throughout the rest of the field. And look at that, Craig Bridge and Corey Goodall not happy with each other. The 13th, though, trying to control that inside row from forming. He's going to block the pass of the 34 and Luke Mahone. We'll see if he can hold them off for the final time. He's going to have his hands full in the rearview mirror. Wes Gallo, the outside, he's going to get in front of. Oh, there's a car turn, and it's John Scheidrich in the 95, and they're wrecking all behind him. But the white flag is in the air, and who's it going to be? Jake Maki at the start-finish line with the win as they're wrecking behind him. Jake Maki steals the win as the rest of the field gets wrecked towards the back end of the field. Joe Tardif just not having the night he wanted to have here at Daytona. He gets wrecked once again. Wes Gallo also on pit road. Corey Goodall. Couple of these guys were not having the race they wanted here tonight, but it is unfortunately the way Daytona usually goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jake Maki is your race winner in the number 13 Ford Mustang. There is your race results. Let's go ahead and see if Jake Maki is going to do a little victory celebration here. And there you have Jake Maki and Matthew Karikoff celebrating here at Daytona International Speedway. Jake Maki burning it down in the 13 car at Daytona. Did a heck of a job controlling the rest of the field back behind him and was making some very important blocks. He is just going to blow that thing up and send it. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and talk about your race results. There you have it. The car just blew up. Jake Maki comes home with the win. Brandon Feeler, who is on a roll in these races, comes home with another P2. That is two. If he's not first, he is second. That's what it seems like all season long for Brandon Feeler in the 39 car. John Ledger comes home P3 with Luke Mahone P4. Marshall Dugan is P5. Steven Gibson comes home P6. Elliott Swope rebounded nicely to P7. Craig Bridge Jr. is P8. Jeffrey Belk P9. Corey Goodall comes home top 10. Eric Olson was P11. Wes Gallo finishes P12. Zachary Ward comes home 13th. John Scheidrich III looking for a good race tonight. Unfortunately, came home P14th. We were hoping for a good race out of him. Had a lot of speed in that car. Joe Tardif, I'm sorry, Joe. Joe had a great car as well. Had an awesome special paint scheme out there as well, and just did not have the race. He's had a lot of unfortunate luck lately, and races just haven't gone his way. So Joe finishes 15th. And we were really excited for that car on track tonight. Just didn't get the finish he was looking for. Matthew Karikoff, who unfortunately was caught up in that wreck and finishes 16th. Steve Mormon finishes 17th. Jeff Laraway was 18th. And it looks like Bryn George comes home 19th. Patrick Lucio 20th. Mark Ward 21st. And let me see here. It looks like, yep, then Barney Sigmund was out. Okay, there you have your race results, guys. Let's go ahead and pull up our race winner and interview him here at Daytona International Speedway. Hey, Jake, I know we just spoke to you moments ago, but congratulations on that win. Heck of a battle there in the closing laps, man. You really did a great job really controlling the lines there in that last 2 laps.
I stand corrected after what I just said to you. I was expecting a caution to come out. I heard the wreck-in calls, but nothing came out, and we just fought to the end there. I have to really thank Luke for not bailing on me there. If he pulled out a line and decided he wanted to go to the high side, I was going to be dead meat. And he stayed behind me and kept pushing me. And I haven't spoken to Luke ever, but I need to thank him because he definitely helped me get the win here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say it was really interesting because Luke was all over your bumper, and I didn't know if Brandon was going to pull out and take the lead, but you did a phenomenal job keeping those guys right behind you. There was a big wreck there behind the field, and it really stole the show with that 13 car, though. You were looking fast all race long.
Well, thank you. This is definitely everyone usually says that they hate super speedway racing. I am a massive fan of it. I go to the Indy 500 every year. I love just the all-out aggressive speed that you get at super speedways and the extremely intense racing that you get. And iRacing definitely kind of portrays all of that, especially in these next gens. It is a very trying race in these cars, and it has been a blast tonight. And I'm so happy that I finally got a win. I came here thanks to Matt. Matt Karakoff brought me in. He showed me. I've been racing with him now for a little bit over a year. So he brought me into you guys, and it's been fun when I have been able to show up. And, you know, I never expected to win tonight, though, showing up. I don't even know what to say.
Well, just congratulations, man. Heck of a win. And at Daytona of all tracks. Very impressive.
I know, right?
Definitely.
Golden track to do it.
Hey, and you got a golden car, too, on top of it. Just some
I
good
know,
luck.
right? Perfect mix. Definitely got to go slam some golden drinks tonight as well.
Hey, man, we'll have at it. Congratulations. Heck of a win. Great battle there in the closing laps. And just want to say congratulations and heck of a race. Good job.
Thank you so much, David. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for everything.
Yep, no problem, Jake. Hey, man, you have a good weekend. We're going to go ahead and move on with our interviews. But congrats on the win. That was an awesome battle. Hope everybody else enjoyed watching that as much as I did. But we'll talk to you soon, Jake. Have a good weekend, and maybe we'll see you next week.
You as well.
All right, there you heard it from your race winner, Jake Maki, in the number 13. He gets his first iRacing Fun League win of the year in the 2024 season. Let's go ahead and move on back to Brandon Feeler, who gets P2 tonight, and let's go ahead and talk with him. Hey, Brandon, it's Dave. You got me?
Yeah, what's up, David?
Hey, man, just want to get with you and say congratulations on the runner-up finish. Man, it seems like if you don't win the race, you come home P2. That car is just always fast no matter where we go at these tracks.
Yeah, I guess so. It helps finishing. I think I was talking to, I think it was Wes a couple of days ago. I don't think I finished outside the top 4 in this season so far. That 4th was my worst finish at Pocono. Otherwise, I've been 3rd, 2nd, or 1st every race. So I'll take that. I can't really complain about it.
Man, I was just watching the recap, and they finished 3 wide right behind you, but at the line, yeah, you come home P2. It just seems like, is there a track that you're not good at? Because you're just good everywhere we go.
Dover. Dover. I'm not good there. I think my second race in the league was at Dover, and it did not go. That track I can't figure it out. I don't understand how anything works there, what to do. So when we go back, I think we go back there in the playoffs. So that's going to be a challenge for me.
All right, well, duly noted and good to know. We'll be watching you at Dover to see where you finish. But man, if you come home 1st or 2nd there, that'll be really impressive.
Yeah, I would even impress myself if that happened. I know Zach's pretty fast there, and I know if Kane comes back, Kane's really fast there as well. They just seem to have that track figured out. But yeah, other than that, I had a lot of fun racing tonight.
I was going to say, definitely, it looked like in the early part of the race, it looked like you ran in a little bit of trouble. I think you were caught up in one of the one of the cautions, but you rebounded nicely and came up through the field. And we weren't sure if you were going to get up there and try and contend for the win, but you definitely impressed us and definitely came home P2 once again.
Yeah, a lot of that first half of the race, I think it was a lot of guys trying to save gas because we knew if we could save enough gas, we'd only have to make 2 pit stops if the whole thing went green. That immediately went out the window when when the caution started flying. So, yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun tonight. It's always great racing with these guys. I know there's some stuff being thrown around in chat right now about the end of that race, but I don't see how you really can complain. It's coming to the checkered flag. It is what it is.
Right, yeah, we hear you. These super speedways definitely have a tendency to go that way, usually, especially on the last lap. But congrats on the runner-up P2, and definitely moving your way up through the point standings. And you're also the leader of the Cup Series point standings as well. So definitely getting a lot of those points moving forward to the playoffs. You're looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I think after this race, I think I have locked up the Cup Series championship too, because we have 1 race left. And entering this race, I had a 60-point lead, so I think I grew it a little bit tonight. So yeah, I think I got that on lockdown this week.
I definitely think you have the Cup Series standings locked up, and you're going to get those 10 bonus points for winning the Cup season. And so you'll get those playoff points and moving forward. So after we get the points all figured out, yeah, you'll be looking pretty solid up there in the top 3 spots. And we'll see where you're going to stack up next week after Darlington. But it'll be interesting. You'll definitely be a top 3 for sure moving in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
All righty, Brandon. Well, it's good talking to you. Congrats on your runner-up P2 at Daytona. And have a good weekend, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, sounds good, man. You have a good weekend too.
Alrighty, there you heard it from Brandon Feeler, who comes on P2 once again for the 2nd time straight. John Ledger, we're going to pull up John. I think he's still in the chat. Yes, he is. Hey, John, it's David on the booth. You got me?
How's it going, David?
Hey, sorry, it's not too late. I wanted to catch you before you headed out. P3, man, how did you get up there in the closing laps? It looked like you were pretty far back or had a really rough race, but you got up there towards the 3rd place position in the closing laps when it mattered most.
Yeah, most of the race I was just saving fuel. I had a strategy going in, try to make it on 1 less stop than everyone else, and being able to save a couple of laps of fuel would have worked. And then very late caution, I was just like, okay, now it's just go time at this point.
Yeah, it looked like you were right behind John Scheidrich. Did he just get kind of loose in front of you there on the last lap?
No, I was pushing John when he was pushing Joe Tardif. We were making good time. I guess Wes Gallo came up to try and get in our run, and it checked everything up. And unfortunately, John just got the worst end of it. I didn't want to spin him. We were very fast.
I got you. Yep. We're watching the replay now, and it looked like there was a little bit of a spin back there, and just people going for it on the last lap, right?
Yeah, if Wes didn't move up like that, I think we would have blown past him, and there would have been no issue. But Wes is trying to win the race. I'm trying to win the race. Joe's trying to win the race. John's trying to win the race. It's like unfortunately, John was just the meat in the sandwich. There's no way I was going to be able to check up to get off him when Wes came up and everything.
Right. Yeah, it was really impressive though. At the line, you guys were 3 wide. Marshall Dugan and Luke Mahone 3 wide. That was a pretty cool finish there from you guys there.
Well, yeah, definitely worth getting a screenshot of.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We were watching the replay once again, and that was pretty cool watching you guys all side by side. And, man, congrats on P3. Definitely came back and was really impressive.
Yep, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, John, good to hear from you. And I just want to give a shout-out to you as well. You took over the total point standings of the overall series, so congrats on that. You now lead the playoff standings. And it'll be interesting to see how are you expecting Darlington going to go. You good at Darlington?
I'm okay at Darlington. I expect it to go like any Darlington race does. Not a lot of cautions. There's too much track for it to pull out a lot of cautions. So I'm just hoping to survive it. I'm not horrible there, but it's not my favorite track on the surface.
Right, yeah, I definitely hear you. Darlington can be really a love-or-hate relationship. I know sometimes I have good races, and sometimes it just nothing goes my way.
It should be a good one, though.
But all right, it was good to hear from you, John. Congrats on P3 and a good point state for you moving forward. And have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, take it easy, man.
You too. All right, there you heard it from John Ledger in the 25 car. He comes home P3. Let's see, Luke Mahone is P4. Let's go ahead and pull him up. Hey, Luke, it's David up in the booth. You got me?
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Hey, man, I just want to say congratulations. I know you didn't get the finish you were looking for, but, man, you guys put on a heck of a show. And I'll tell you what, that last lap at the line, 3 wide for second, third, and fourth, that was impressive.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely an exciting finish. It definitely wasn't. I was planning on winning, obviously, but I'm happy that Mackie won. I've done a few things for him. He's helped me out with some pictures, and so I'm glad to be able to push him to a win. But yeah, that last lap, definitely something. My goal was to get around him at some point. I was gonna do it on the backstretch, but then I said I'll do it coming out of 4, and then Wes made the move before I could, and so I decided to just salvage what I could, and then I hate to be the cause of that incident with Tardif and Gallo, even though I blocked him, but I didn't touch him.
It didn't look like there was contact between the two of you two.
Yeah.
It just looked like there was a lot of hard racing there at the line. I don't really necessarily think you were to blame for that as well, but yeah, looked like Wes went up high and he was kind of blocking Joe, and I don't know. I think Joe went down low and tried to stick it 3 wide maybe.
It was Wes went up and then Wes went up, Tardif went up, and then Tardif went low and was gonna pass Wes, and Wes hasn't won yet, and to be honest, I really wanted him to win this because it's like Daytona, anybody could win it. So like I really wanted Wes to win it, and so I shouldn't have made that block. It was stupid and boneheaded, but can't change the past. So
right, it happens. It's Daytona. What are you gonna do on the last lap? Anything can happen, really.
Yeah, to be honest, either win or you don't. Somebody has to finish first, and someone has to finish last.
But yeah, man, you definitely got to get a screenshot of that 3-way battle for third, fourth, and that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, I'm not sure what the playoff or the points are looking like, but I hope I can make it. And if not, I think Galloway said he's not going to make it, so I might be able to snag a waiver or a free spot. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep, we'll see how things shake out next week after Darlington. I think you're really looking positive moving in forward, especially after a 4th place finish here tonight. You're 51 back before Daytona, so after Darlington, we'll see where things are at, and we'll go from there. But it should be interesting to see how the points are stacked up. And then we also have the drops, though. So with the drops also as well, you might be looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I know Ledger said he wouldn't be opposed to it, so I know he's an admin or something, but I just don't want to be unfair to all the other people who didn't make it.
That is true. And then the one thing is, if David Galloway does not, I know he said he wasn't going to make the rest of the season. If he does not, that does pretty much open up that 16th spot. So, I mean, that is one thing we're going to look into, and we'll figure that out.
And, I mean, I'm just doing all I can. I got 4th place here. I won last week. Richmond, I don't want to. It was just awful at Richmond. Yeah, I've been trying as much as I can. And then Darlington, I don't know what's going to go. I'm not really that good at Darlington, and I know there's probably people that are definitely better than me there, but I don't know. You never really know here, so we'll see.
Yep, it's going to definitely be an interesting race next week at Darlington, and I can't wait to see that one. But good to hear from you, Luke. Congrats on a top 5 finish here at Daytona. And have a good weekend, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Good to hear from you.
Yep.
All right, there you heard it from Luke Mahone, who comes home P4, having a heck of a season here in the iRacing Fun League. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up Marshall real quick before we head out and talk to him real quick. Hey, Marshall, it's Dave in the booth. You got me?
Hey, yes, sir. Got you loud and clear, buddy.
Marshall, my man, you come home top 5 here at Daytona, and you had a heck of a battle there at the line, 3 wide. That was a photo finish for you guys. Walk me through that race, and how did it go for you?
Oh man, it's been a race, that's for sure. I've had a strong car tonight. The 45, the Ford Mustang 45 car was pretty strong. Sporting brand new paint scheme, out of Del Mar, Delaware. The fire department there ran them tonight. Put them on board. They had a firefighter out in Georgetown, Ellendale, who passed away in a freak accident about a week and a half ago. So I thought I'd pay tribute and show a fire scheme tonight. But man, the car was fast. I qualified, I think 12th or 13th. I had some luck on my side. I think lap 70, the crash going down the back straightaway. They piled them up a little bit. I got a little bit of it, caught a little bit of damage, not enough to really mess me up too bad, but I was able to run, bottom, outside. It was just a great race. I couldn't be thankful enough to just be able to contend and run up front with these guys tonight. It's just, I worked really good with John Zedrick there for a little while. Zach Ward, I worked good with. I worked good with pretty much everybody. And then there at the end, I was like, well, the gloves are coming off. I got to, see what I can do. And man, it just, when John, got turned there going in, it looked like there was a bunch of checking up going on there. I guess it's turn 3. I was able to avoid that one. And then there was, I guess, is Gallo, I think, again, on the outside line with Tardif. That opened up the door for me. And then at that time, I was like, well, I'm just going to run it to the, the line. And I thought I had third because I couldn't really see the outside.
We're watching it right now on the broadcast. Sorry to cut you off, but man, you put on a heck of a run here and got up 2 to lead. You did a great job here at the line, and we're watching it as we speak.
And this whole race, I've been the back of the pack to the front of the pack. I've led a couple laps tonight. I caught a break. So we had the first green flag pit
That was
stop
at the line.
And then I was telling John, I said, the only thing that's going to save me now from not going too far behind, if we get a caution flag around lap 48 or 50. And sure enough, we got a caution, and that was just a miracle. I had like 2 laps left in gas, and that saved the whole race for me right there. And I'm just happy, man. This is the happiest I've been since I've started racing with you guys.
Well, that's awesome. You definitely deserved it, and you really, really needed a good finish here at Daytona. So I'm proud of you, happy for you as well, and you definitely got the finish you deserve that you're looking for.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to give you some TV time finally. I'm like, I got to earn this, I got to get up there and show all these people that I can actually drive to the front. And I actually did that tonight. It felt good.
Well, that's awesome, Marshall. I'm appreciating you come up here talking with us in the booth, and good congratulations on a top 5 here at Daytona. That was a heck of a battle, and we're going to be talking about that one for quite some time now, that 3-way finish there. I told Luke Mahone you need to take some screenshots of that and work your magic with his Photoshop because he's really good at taking photos. So he'll probably work up some photos, and he'll definitely send them on over, and you definitely need to snag one of those. It's an awesome finish.
Yeah, it was a great finish. Like I said, I saw those guys step high because it looked like Ledger kind of touched the wall a little bit, and I think that's how I chose the inside, because when they came off of 4, looked like Luke might have thrown a little bit of a block, and Ledger tapped the wall, and I was like, well, that might slow them down enough that I might be able to squeeze down to the bottom and squeeze a third. But look, I'm going to take a P5. I got a bonus point. I think you get bonus points for leading a lap, maybe. And
yes, you do.
So I'm going to, I'm happy. Like I said, I get a bonus point for that. My best finish since racing with this league. I'm happy, dude. That's all I can say.
Well, thank you for talking with us, Marshall. We're happy for you as well, and I'm really stoked that you got a good finish here. And not only that was it a good finish, but it was a really good battle at the line. Probably one of the coolest finishes I've seen almost all season long.
Yeah, it was a good finish at the line. I'm glad we were able to put on a good show tonight for everybody, and Now I can look forward to Talladega. That'll be next race I lick my chops at.
Yep, you're in the playoffs, so it's going to be exciting. One more race left in the regular season, and it's going to be cool come playoff time to see you guys on track.
Yes, sir. Like I said, Daytona and Talladega. You give me those 2 tracks, and I'll be up front where I need to be.
All righty, Marshall. I appreciate you for talking with us after the race. Congrats on the top 5 and heck of a finish, and we'll have a good weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Have a good one yourself.
All right, there you heard it from Marshall, who comes home P5. And that's going to do it, guys. That is your race results on screen. And congrats to Jake Maki, who gets his first win of the year. Brandon Feeler comes home P2 once again. John Ledger was P3. Luke Mahone was P4. And Marshall Dugan, there's your top 5 finishing positions. And let's go ahead and get back to our broadcast here. And we'll go ahead and show you guys the playoff standings real quick before we head out. And before we get, or not standings, but the playoff schedule. We're going to start the playoffs September 5th at Atlanta. That'll be the round of 16. So 16 drivers are going to make the playoffs. And yet we have that to be determined as far as the actual standings go. We have a couple drop races that are going to get thrown in the mix. And it'll be interesting to see where everybody stacks up. But right now, your playoff standings are looking pretty solid. And we spoke to Luke Mahone, and it's all going to depend on where everybody gets stacked up after those drop races. So right now, everyone in green is locked in. Everyone in yellow has yet to win a race. And Luke Mahone, who has won a race, has not met the 15 minimum. But with word of David Galloway dropping out of the playoffs for the rest of the year, he might actually free up one of those spots, and it's going to be interesting to see where that all shakes up. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week, August 29th at Darlington. That is going to be our final race of the regular season. Don't want to miss Darlington. That's a track too tough to be tamed. It's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully you guys were enjoying Daytona here tonight, and we'll catch you next week at Darlington. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next week on Thursday, guys. Take it easy.